Well, hi, folks, and welcome to my porch as we continue with the Memphis Porch Sessions. And on this session, it's going to be a little bit special because this is a special week. This week, April 21st, April 22nd, that birthday is there. April 21st, that's my birthday. April 22nd, that was George Harmonica Smith's birthday. And George had told me when we found this out, we used to sit down together. He say, in his way, he would say, Dubb, you born April 21st? I said, yeah. He said, you know, I born April 22nd. And I said, wow, that's the same day as my natural father's birthday. He said, is that right? I said, yeah. And the funny thing, folks, is me and my natural father, we didn't get along too good. But George and I, we got along really great. And when I was a younger guy, he kind of treated me like a son, taught me so many things. And we would talk about our birthdays, and he said, you know, we both Tauruses. I said, uh-huh. He said, you know what Taurus is, don't you? I said, that's bull. He said, that's right. He said, I'm the big bull, and you is the little bull. And I thought to myself, that's a whole lot of bull between the two of us. But George, what do I want to say? Yeah, so I'm figuring today on the porch, let me tell you some stories about him. And we'll make it like just a visit, like you coming by on this April week and you just say, hey man, what's going on? I'll tell you these stories. The first story I think I should tell you is about how I got my name Dubb, D-U-B-B. That came from George. Now, George would not call me Doug. And I do believe because he considered himself a father to me. And I was going to be his son. And he was going to name me. But it had to sound like Doug. And he chose Doug. Mm-hmm. And then when he got mad at me, it was Dubbless. The birds are singing, everything, you know, welcome to the porch. It's nice out here, you know. I remember one time I told him, I said, George, I said, you know my name is Doug. He said, I know that, Doug. So Doug is going to be. Mm-hmm. He helped me with my music, too. He always wanted me to do my own music, write my own songs, and play in my own ways. It was really, really important to him. One of the great stories about this is when we were playing together, and it was some kind of major concert somewhere over in Europe, and maybe Utrecht or somewhere like that. And we was playing together, and we got done, and George said to me, he said, Dubb, you sure sound like B.B. King. I said, well, George, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Then he said, Doug, that's not a compliment. What he was telling me was, right, be you. Don't be anybody else. We already got one B.B. King. No matter how good you are at imitating B.B. King, you will never be B.B. King. So an important message was, hey, be you. Put your music out there. Let's see what happens with that. I don't want this little session together, this visit on the porch to go too long, but I think I'll tell you one more story that might give you a laugh on this birthday week of George and Dubb, huh? Mm-hmm. Well, we were working up and down the California coast, and we got done with this one gig, and a gentleman come up to George and go, George, Harmonica Smith. Oh, man, I can't tell you how great it is to meet you. I've been a fan of yours ever since Telephone Blues. That was Kansas City, wasn't it? Kansas City. And George, mm-hmm. He said, oh, man, I really loved you all the time. You're the greatest harmonica player in the world. And George said, thank you, baby. He said, where you from? And the guy said, Alabama. And George said, Alabama? I was born in Alabama. The man said, no. George said, yeah. And then the guy said, let me buy you a drink. All night long, George drank on Alabama. Then we go down the road a little further, do another gig somewhere. And George get done with the set, and A fella come up to him and go, George Harmonica Smith, I've been waiting years to meet you. I've been waiting years to be able to hear you in person. And I've got to tell you, you are the finest harmonica player I have ever heard in my life. Not only that, but you have a band and you lead your band and you make a great show. I'm so honored to meet you, George. George said, thank you, baby. He said, where you from? The guy could say Utah. And George said, I was born in Utah. And the guy would say, well, let me buy you a drink. And all night long, George drank on Utah. Well, I was starting to think about this a little bit, you know what I mean? I was starting to say, well, what's he doing here? So we're driving down the road. I was doing the driving, of course. George is looking out the window. I'm driving along. I said, George, seemed to me like you've been born in a lot of places. He go, mm-hmm. I said, George, but you can only be born in one place. He said, that's true, Dubb. You can only be born in one place. And I said, so George, where were you born? He said, I'm born wherever the liquor coming from. So that's a little bit here for you on this visit to the porch. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a chance to get yourself an adult beverage or maybe a non-adult beverage or whatever you want, and you can sit down and visit and enjoy a little story, a little bit of history. And as always, if you're enjoying these Memphis Porch Sessions, I invite you to hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I'll be looking for you somewhere down the line.